Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Friday, October 11th, 2019. 18 degrees outside. Shane Matobin on the line with me. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And as Dan so eloquently said, we are the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Happy to be here with you. And it's finally Friday, Shane. Finally Friday. Oh, my God.
Oh, once again, the end of another terrific week. The one thing I love about Fridays, I look forward to Mondays because it's always a caller day. We always seem to have this incredible group of people, just
Well,
like
they're
15 people.
Yeah, they're frustrated over the weekend
That's
that
right.
they can't vent. So Monday's the day. So,
Yeah,
but
it's
we
good.
hope we'll have some folks for you today, though. The county commissioners hopefully will join us at
That's
8
right.
o'clock, and we've got the game coming up with Sacramento State on Saturday. We gave away 4 tickets yesterday, 2 on our app chat and 2 on our phone lines. And we'll also be giving away the last 2 games, tickets to the last 2 games. And that'll include the Cat Grizz game. So you want to
Yeah,
get
big
geared
game.
up for that one because we are going to give away 4 tickets to that game as well. So, and that's here in Bozeman, of course.
Yes.
And it's going to be quite a contest because the Grizz are pretty good this year. They haven't jailed most of the team this year. So, that's they're on their way. So what can I what can
Peace
I
and order reigns
That's right.
in the Grizzland.
Well, we hope not, but anyway. But anyway, our Gallatin Valley weather, let's take a look at that. Sunny with a high near 40 degrees today. Should be pretty nice. Also tonight, clear with a low around 21 for your Friday night. And Saturday for the game, it's going to be sunny with a high near 49, calm winds. So if we have to kick field goals or whatever, should be pretty easy to do those. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 28. And then on Sunday, going to be pretty nice on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 53. And Sunday night, a slight chance of rain after 1 a.m., mixing with snow after 4 a.m. Mostly cloudy and a low around 33. There's only a 20% chance of precip, so I don't think we're going to get a lot of snow over that Sunday night. Columbus Day on Monday, a holiday for many of you. A slight chance of rain and snow before 4 p.m., and then a slight chance of rain. Mostly sunny with a high near 49 on Columbus Day Monday. Chance of precipits about 20%. And then Monday night, you're looking for a slight chance of rain before 7 o'clock and partly cloudy with a low around 27 on Monday. And then Tuesday, a high of 53. Wednesday, high of 59. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 59. So it looks like a pretty nice week. No rain, no real snow, no nothing. Shane,
That's
we're
right.
pretty
And,
excited
and,
there. So
and I want to give you and everybody else listening an opportunity to wish me happy Canadian Thanksgiving because our Sunday and Monday is our Thanksgiving. So there you go.
this year
Sunday is
or
yeah,
this coming Sunday and Monday,
yeah, the
you
13th,
get
and then
2 days.
yeah, no, well, we're like you. We get Thanksgiving on Sunday and Monday off, right? Like,
Okay, so we get Thanksgiving on Thursday and go back to work on Friday.
yeah, you only get one day off, but
Yeah.
we only get Monday off, so
Okay.
same thing.
Well, that's all right, I guess.
So we
So
call it Black Monday.
Black Monday. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a month early for your Thanksgiving, but
Yeah.
you know, Black Mondays matter in Canada too.
Well, all right. Good for them. Temperatures around the area right now. Livingston is 21 degrees and clear. Manhattan is 12. Three Forks is 12 degrees. And Gallatin Gateway is 17. Ennis is 14. Big Sky is 12. At the airport in Belgrade is 12 degrees. And we're right at 17 here. So we're a little warmer over here because, hey, the KMMS Morning Soapbox is hot.
That's
We're a
right.
hot show, man. So there you are. Our poll question from yesterday, if you are a family member, been a victim of a crime in Bozeman, and 42% of you said never been a victim of a crime in Bozeman. That's pretty good for a town
Yeah,
our size.
and it
That's pretty
indeed.
nice, yeah. 21% say it's been over 5 years since they were a victim of a crime. 11% said yes within the past 12 months. 9% said no, not within the past 5 years. And 4% said yes within the past 5 years. And then we had a couple of other answers. Dog attacked me from behind entering Petco. So you can't trust those dogs, man. You never turn your back on a dog going into Petco. Victim of a crime perpetrated by a group of Bozeman residents and is getting ripped off on extended warranties by a local appliance dealer. Does that count?
Yeah, it must.
Yeah. And, of course, never lived in Bozeman. Well, thanks for answering a survey where you haven't lived. Sounds good to me. Our poll question today is, would you accept a sales tax if property tax was gone? Right now, 44% of you said yes, I want to eventually own my property outright. 22% say no, a sales tax will just keep going up and up. 1% said yes, the tourist will pay a share if we went to strictly a sales tax. A couple other answers. No, they'll add property tax back later on. That's probably true. And yes, if they do away with property and income taxes. Well, we got to have some taxes, I guess, but they'll go for a sales tax if we get rid of property taxes and income taxes.
Well, like we talked about, the population of your state versus the number of tourists, like over 12 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 15 times more tourists than you have people living in the state. You should have a sales tax. Those people should be paying it big time to see the great state of Montana.
Yeah, but we live here and we pay it all year round. They only pay it for 3 months while they're here.
Or when they visit.
When they visit, well, that's when they're here, when they visit.
Yeah, I understand that. But people on a holiday, the average person on a holiday, American, spends $500 a day.
Wow.
So a 7-day holiday is $3,500. So, that's a significant amount of money, and it's a significant amount of revenue.
Well, apparently so.
Potentially.
All right. Well, I don't know. A lot of folks think they don't want to pay. They want. We want to show our license and we're exempt from the sales tax. We'll let the 12 million who come in here and spend the $500 a day. They can spend it. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that'll work.
That would work.
Also, I want to remind you, Bozeman Magazine is doing their Bozeman's Choice reader poll this time, and Shane and I are in a bunch of different categories. We'd like for you to go to bozemanmagazine.com and vote for us. Under media, we are in Bozeman's Choice for favorite celebrity. We are Bozeman's Choice for local news source. Bozeman Choice for local radio DJs. That's Shane and myself. Bozeman Choice for local radio show. That, of course, be the morning Soapbox. And Bozeman's Choice for local radio station. So even if you don't like us, vote for the station.
No, wait. Don't listen to that, folks, okay? You do like us. We are terrific. We are on air. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Give me some credit. All right? So, they love us. And
give him a break. Give him a break. Yeah, vote for Shane.
Vote for the Eagle Man and the Crazy Canuck and download our shows. Okay,
right.
that's must to continue to listen to our show. 2 requirements: vote and download our shows.
Amen. Yeah, and I'm also up for most luscious local radio voice. I'd put Shane in there, but he's not local, so we.
And I want everyone to know they're not talking about his lips because he's got a mustache. Big enough to cover his chin. So not only his lips, right? So,
all right. That's enough. Calm down.
I'm having fun. It's finally Friday.
All right. Well, you'd be excited to know that on this date then, I don't know if it was Friday or not, but in 1811, the first steam-powered ferry boat was put in operation between New York City and Hoboken and New Jersey, a steam-powered ferry boat.
That's great. Well, listen, the unique success of the ferry boats as a communable way to get to work, home, or shopping has expanded her huge. So Europe is the biggest between England and France, and they have the Channel Plus ferry boats and over 60 million passengers a year. Istanbul is number two. They have it's the bridge between Europe and Asia, and over the Bosphorus, and 47 million passengers, largest ferry system in the world. There you go. And then and then Europe is second. Number three, though, you're going to like this. I like it. BC Ferries operates the third largest ferry service. We have more than 8 million vehicles that we move and 20 million passengers amongst the different islands and the shoreline of BC.
Wow.
Big money. These are big ships.
Big
Very
ships.
Cool.
Wow. All right.
Great ships to ride. They're cool.
All right. We got to take a quick break here. We got to take care of our farmers, ranchers, and cab drivers and truck drivers. Anybody that brings you booze, food, or clothing. And if you're sitting down to breakfast, thank a farmer and thank a rancher for your bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs or whatever you're having. And we'll be right back right after news in agriculture and the Headwaters Livestock Auction Report. 24 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Friday, October 11th, 2019. Shaman Dobbin on the line with me. Tommy Galop, your morning mayor in the house. And, Shane, on this date in 1884, arguably the least attractive first lady in history was born. Eleanor Roosevelt was born in New York City.
Yeah, boy, this is a great story because it's so relevant today. You think that the Clintons from Arkansas, and all those mountain people, you think that she stood by her man? Whoa, this lady definitely did.
Yes, she did.
Now, to begin with, the Roosevelts and the Livingstons, the Roosevelts were they came in the 17th century, and they were pioneers from Dutchland. They were Danish. Her family, of course, was that great renowned group of people that we all love and talk about so much because her family came from, England. Well, not England, but her family.
Wales or Scotland?
Wales or Scotland, yeah, something like that.
One of those.
But one of those. But the amazing thing about it is that, so they get married. Oh, and here's the other thing. She marries her cousin fifth removed. She marries her cousin fifth removed. Oh, the Livingstons were. I'm sorry. We're Scotland, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Scotland.
Okay.
Whatever. No one. I got to.
No one cares.
Okay. Oh yes, you got to hear this. You got to hear about this. This is good. So she marries him in 1905, and by 1918, he starts having an affair with a woman named Lucy Mercer, which he has an affair until he dies in 1945. So they had an open marriage at the beginning. We're talking serious far left people here, okay? And then he ends up with polio, and she convinces him to run for office. She becomes governor of New York, and of course, the president of the United States. But she after he passes away, Truman made her the first American member to the United Nations, and she did work on a lot of human human things about people, human care about human people. And, but like you said, she was really outstanding looking woman, being a fifth cousin of her husband. Whoa, I love that.
Yeah. Okay. We all feel better knowing all that.
Well, but I mean, you're in a marriage like 12 years, and then he takes on a mistress, and the whole world knows this. I mean, he dies with her in Warm Springs. Wow.
All right. Well, in 1958, the lunar probe Pioneer 1 was launched. It failed to go as far as planned, fell back to Earth, and burned up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it was this regrettable event that later caused huge concerns about, putting nuclear reactors or small ones on orbiters or spacecraft because of the fear that it could return to Earth and do something terrible. But they overcame the concern. Obviously, the more you successfully do something, the more likely it'll work out.
Yep. So
they've done that, and we've had some remarkable success from the other pioneers and other small orbiters or what
Satellites.
satellites sent into space and giving us information and pictures about everything in our solar system. Huge.
Yeah. Well, in 1968, Apollo 7 was launched with us astronauts Wally Schirra, Don Fulton Eisel, and R. Walter Cunningham aboard.
And what a great crew. It's the great thing about Apollo, of course, it was referenced three members to the crew. Jim and I were two, and and it was such an important aspect to go through fundamental things they had to learn before they could run to the moon, because it's 6 more flights on, or no, excuse me, 4 more flights. They were on the moon on Apollo 11, right? So
they were what we sent 2 up that just orbited the moon, and that's all they did, and then came back.
And then they landed.
I mean, they didn't land until 1969.
Yeah, but the great thing, a year later, this is October, and they landed in
June of '69. Yeah, June of '69.
Anyway, they were famous because they transmitted the first television from space, which was pretty cool, so everyone could see what they ate for dinner, because everybody wants to know what astronauts eat for dinner.
No, that's true. It was Tang, wasn't it? They were on a Tang diet.
They made that. Yeah, they made a huge run with Tang. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. We'll be back. We got Montana State News coming up, Fox News, and Brooke Foster weather. And we've got, a few other things for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. 25 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday, October 11, 2019, 18 degrees outside. Shane Matavin on the line with me, Tom Eagle, your morning mayor, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and we hope that you will go over and vote for us in various categories over at BozemanMagazine.com, their yearly readers poll, their 2020 readers poll. And we are in several categories under media, both Shane and myself, and KMMS itself. So we hope that you will go over to BozemanMagazine.com and give us a vote of confidence over there. And let's show the power of talk radio over these ne'er-do-well music stations out there that I'm not even sure why anybody listens to them. But anyway, apparently they're pretty popular, but I don't know.
Apparently, well, for people driving, because they still have radios in their cars.
I guess that's true, but, they should...
I mean, at home they use their sound systems or their phones. They don't use their...
Yeah, but, kicking grandma through the goalposts of life won't educate you, or...
That's great. Of all the songs you pick, Mayor, that's
well. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they play over there. You can't. I don't know. I don't know why you waste your time. But all right, 1986 on this date, because you wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this if you're listening to country music. You wouldn't know that in 1986. President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev opened 2 days of talks on armed control and human rights in Reykjavik, Iceland.
Yeah, and this was so amazing, because this is the kind of deal that Reagan was. We're seeing some amazing similarities between Reagan and Trump. So he agreed. They had 5 meetings, him and Gorbachev. And of course, Gorbachev, the Soviet Union collapses and it starts to fall apart, which the CIA didn't see coming. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so based on his own instinct, he agrees to meet with Gorbachev first in Geneva, then in Switzerland, then Geneva, and the second time in Reykjavik, Iceland, and. He wanted to meet with him alone to the objections of all the military guys and the guy with the football. And he said, no, we're just going to meet alone and just with translators. And they really had a great conversation, and they agreed to get rid of all nuclear weapons, abolish all nuclear weapons. Only problem is Gorbachev wanted Reagan to end SDI, and Reagan said no. He said he'd share the technology with him, and Gorbachev couldn't make a deal. They did eventually. The Berlin Wall came down in '87 after Reagan left office. But it's incredible to realize that, a great leader can accomplish great things, especially if he's supported. And he was supported by everyone, including the media, Tom. And that's why he got so many great things done, like this deal with Russia. Now you've gone from over 40,000 nuclear warheads to 7,500. I mean, obviously enough to destroy the world over 3 or 4 times, but I mean, not to the extent that what you had before. So there you go.
All right. 1998, Pope John Paul II canonized the first Jewish-born saint of the modern era, Edith Stein, a Catholic nun killed in Auschwitz.
Well, I always have a concern for this kind of stuff with the Catholic Church being a Catholic, because one of the commandments says you'll have no other gods before you, right?
Yeah.
And so I always have a problem with all these saints and people that the Catholic Church elevates. And to be quite honest with you, over the centuries I've looked at it, I think it's mostly for financial gain, to be honest with you. And very sad, but it's nice to recognize somebody of importance. But to create something that qualifies as sainthood is I think that's pretty too much.
Yeah, they. How can you disprove they're not a saint? I mean, that's like climate change. Can't prove it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you can't disprove a truth or a falsehood, right?
That's right. Yeah. All right, we got to take another quick break here. We got Goose Ridge Monuments want to talk to you. Montana Gift Corral and the Bobcats are going to play this Saturday at against Sacramento State, rather. And hopefully you'll make it out to that game. And we'll be right back with more right after this. 18 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday, October 11th, 2019, 18 degrees outside. And, on this day in history, in 2002, the Senate joined the House in improving what, Shane? The use of America's military might against Iraq.
We did, and so here you are 17 years later, and you're still blowing up sand over there. But finally last night, Trump made it clear to everyone, the swamp may want me to stay, but we're coming home. So it was pretty good. He covered a lot of ground last night. He's pretty adamant about certain things, and that's probably one of the most important things. You cannot be involved in endless mercenary war. It just it corrupts the institutions of your country, and it does not do well with other people that you're dealing with on a global basis.
Well, that's true. You have a double-edged sword. You don't want to be there, but yet you still have to protect American interests in the region, or else get American interests out of the region, and that hurts our global economy. So
yeah, but
you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, sort of.
Yeah, but all these people and all the people on television about Syria. I mean, with what they said about Syria under Obama and he shouldn't do and didn't do and can't do. I mean. We're talking about 150 men that the military, great guys, pulled out of Syria. It was over. It's done. Like he said last night, accept the victory, America. Let's go on. Move on. Come on.
Yeah. All right. From our text line, are you kidding me, Shane? The media tore Reagan a new one every chance they had, calling him a amenable dolt. He hardly had universal support, and that's from Not Your Sister Tam.
I know. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't universal support. It was the typical media. But at the same time, the things he did accomplish, although he had bigger problems, he had the whole issue with commercial real estate collapse in your country and savings and loans, and that turned into it. But he managed through it. But he had somewhat of support, for the things that he had accomplished. If he did something.
Well, he got a landslide victory in his second term.
Did he ever?
Yeah, I think he won every state except Minnesota or whatever, where
Massachusetts
or whoever was from. Yeah. Let's see. Bum. Another one bites the dust. A senior advisor of Pompeo resigns. 2 Giuliani associates arrested with one-way tickets. So much corruption. Well,
oh my goodness, yeah.
Well, it's corruption of them personally, not anyone else.
Well, that's right. And of course, no one wants to talk about Gazinga, the counterterrorism analyst with the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, was arrested the Department of Justice Wednesday over charges he leaked classified materials about a foreign country's weapon system to two journalists. Are you ready for this? In 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And his name is, he's 30-year-old Henry Kyle Fries. He gave the information, are you ready for this? His girlfriend, who works for none other than MSNBC and NBC. She has now been put on suspension. But so finally, a leaker has been charged, and not a word. There hasn't been a single word, not even on Fox, of this arrest.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Seriously, it's crazy.
All right, on this date in 2002, former President Jimmy Carter won the Nobel Peace Prize for his 1970s Middle East diplomacy, which still hasn't worked.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Egypt and Israel tolerate each other, but that's about as far as it goes, I think, and Jordan and everybody else in the region. Yeah,
well,
at least they're not. I mean, they're still firing missiles into Israel, aren't they?
Well, but the key militarily to this treaty between Egypt and Israel was, for the last 60 years, the only country with a large enough population to raise an army to defeat Israel was Egypt, and that's why they wanted this treaty. That's why they gave the Sinai back. That's why they allowed, Egypt to basically take the responsibility of, three sides of not the Golan Heights, but the area south of Israel in the Sinai. And of course, it's been a thorn in their back ever since, because, as you say, they keep firing rockets from there into Israel. But a very important thing, and Jimmy Carter, you got to admit, he got it done. He did indeed. He got two enemies in a room and got them to sign a peace treaty. That's an accomplishment.
Well, that would be true. So I guess we have to give him his due.
Yes,
so
indeed.
to speak.
Aircraft and it was Arafat and Menachem Begin, right? So
yeah,
I
think so.
Yep.
All right. Well, the only notable birthday today was, we already talked about Eleanor Roosevelt, born on this date in 1884. She died on November 7, 1962. America's first lady and diplomat and social reformer. And so that's her kind of claim to fame. And maybe Harlan Fiske Stone, born on this date in 1872. He's an American jurist, associate justice, and he was Chief Justice of the Supreme Court from 41 to 46.
Which is important, because that's, when Franklin was president, wanted to pack the court.
Right,
so,
right. Yeah, he wanted 15 justices so he could make it a socialist nation back then. So
that's great. And Fisk was, he was a Fiskstone. He was a Democrat appointee, but a hardcore staunch constitutionalist, and he didn't like the things Franklin was doing with all the programs, in regard to the Depression. So he was a pain in his you-know-what.
Yeah. Well, on this date, Charles Revson was born. If that name doesn't ring a bell for you, he was born in 1906. He's an American business entrepreneur. He founded Revlon, so he didn't call it Revson. He called it Revlon. So
there you go.
A cosmetic line that is still running around today. We still got Revlon products today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big competition was Mary Kay. She came. We're going to come to your door and sell you makeup.
Yeah, there you go.
But he put them in all the big box chain stores of America, in all the malls across your country, and Revlon was a big success.
It was, yeah. He did a lot of sponsors of TV shows in the 50s and the 60s back then, and quite a lucrative job for him.
That's right. Yeah, and he was the first to turn hairspray and shampoo and conditioner into commercial viable products that he made, that they could make a lot of money from.
Yeah. And
of course they found out that women would pay more for underarm deodorant than men. So that's huge, right?
That was good. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. It's interesting that men put women in high heels and
That's right.
bras, girdles, whatever, all that
Whatever.
stuff. Wow. That was, I don't know. The women just went right along with that. I don't know. The wife says high heels. I don't think so. Even though she's
Yeah.
even though she's 5'1" or 5'2", she's saying not a chance. I'm not getting in those things.
Well, all you have to do is go to Europe and go to a few of the remarkable museums and see the incredible, sculptures of women, and they're beautiful.
Oh yeah.
In naked, they're just outstanding. What a body! But you know what? A little bit of cover. Yeah. A little bit of lingerie, boy, it goes a long way to make it even better.
All right. Well, we better end on that before you get out of control.
Okay.
Take a cold shower while we hear from the government mid and ZipRecruiter.
Right?
Yeah, and shave too. We'll be right back with. Well, we'll be back with less after this. 6 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Friday, October 11th, 2019, 18 degrees outside. Shane Tobin, half man, half amazing, is on the line with me. Tom Eagle up, your morning mayor, in the house. And, Shane, we got a lot of stuff going on our website at KMMSAM.com. You can get over there and check out some of the stories that are going on over there. A grizzly killed in Montana after livestock attacks. The stories over there. We also have an exclusive Trump deputy talks Syria and the Kurds, so that recording is over there if you want to see that. And did you know that Bozeman had an official flag? Did you know we had a flag, Shane?
You have a city flag?
We have an official city flag of Bozeman.
Tremendous.
You can just head over there and check out. We got pictures of the Bozeman flag on our website at AM 1450 or at 1450 KMMS. 1450am.com, I should say. I'll get it in a minute.
The more you say it, the more they remember it. It's okay, Rob.
KMMSam.com, yeah. That's where it is, yeah. And also up in Great Falls, a former undersheriff pleads guilty to sexual abuse up there. And, all kinds of stories over on our website over here at KMMS. am.com. So get over there and check it out. We got snow pictures from all over the place. We got our poll questions are over there as well. What's the fastest drive-through in Bozeman? What do you think?
McDonald's. Got to be McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the restaurants on the list we don't have here in Bozeman, but the local fast food restaurants from fastest to slowest: Wendy's, fastest; Burger King, then Taco Bell; KFC, Arby's, and McDonald's comes in at number 6.
Wow.
So there you are. All that over at KMMSAM.com and more. So get over there and check it out. Also, if you're not aware of it, if you missed any part of our shows, you can hear the entire show commercial free at KMMSAM.com. Check on Tom and Shane's podcast on the What's Hot bar, and that'll take you over there. And we're at 1,714 downloads of our show so far, so that's pretty exciting. Over 240 shows over there, so go over and check it out, and you can see how many people downloaded the shows, and we give a little synopsis of each hour, so you kind of know what to expect, but we're very excited that so many of you have done the rebroadcasts of our shows, and we know a lot of you don't get to hear them all because you're on your way to work, or maybe there's a guest you want to hear, or you want to hear what the commissioners, county commissioners are going to say at 8 o'clock today, but you're going to be at work, so you're not going to be able to do that, so you can check it out, and we usually have them up at least by 10:30 after the show. Usually I can get them up by 10 o'clock if I don't get any interruptions, but we always have them up at least by 10:30, even on Friday. So
well, and when you excuse me, when you have your friends or family or even neighbors over for a nice quiet dinner with a nice bottle of wine, put on a show of Tom and Shane, guaranteed to create all kinds of raucous conversation
at the you'll want to play us during Thanksgiving. Yeah, absolutely.
everyone is gonna figure you're gonna turn your stereo on with Brahms for background music.
There you are. Yeah,
And here come the boys, the mayor and the crazy Canuck. Oh,
yeah.
woo!
Put the liberals on one side, the conservatives on the other,
Exactly.
and boom, you got it. It'll be a wonderful holiday experience for you. So by all means, yeah, check that out for sure. And all right. Well, we come back after the top of the hour. We got to talk about Bozeman and Missoula are into climate change. The Chronicle is doing a whole series on climate change, and I don't know who talked him into that, but at any rate, I don't know. I'm after living as long as I have, I'm just not convinced that we have a problem. I don't know.
You know what, Tom? And if we do, we're not going to live this.
I was going to say, if it's going to happen in 11 years, then hey, hopefully we'll still be here on the air and we can tell you all about it. Because I can remember at one time I started bookmarking stuff that happened 10 years ago, the predictions, of how terrible everything was going to be and all of that. But I don't know.
Well, listen, I got to tell you, I've done my bucket list. So all I know is I don't want to have any regrets not having that great fat burger. Okay.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Lettuce, tomato, pickle, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese.
That's
with a
right.
huge soft bun and oh my God, grilled burger.
That's right.
It's not no, you're not going to get me. No, I am not. That may be my last.
You're not giving up meat for.
No.
You're not going after the Impossible Burger, the plant burger, huh? Yeah.
No, there's no way. I'm telling you, the burger may be the last meal I have.
All right. All right, we got to go. Top of the hour coming up. Fox News, Montana State News, and Brooke Foster with the weather. And Shane and I will return right after that. So stay tuned. A lot more to come. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Friday, October 11th, 2019, 18 degrees outside still. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shay. What's up?
This is Clint.
Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty darn good.
All right.
But my son isn't doing too good.
Oh, yeah? What's up with your son?
Well, I want to talk about two German short-haired dogs.
Okay.
And they're purebred.
Now, is this the son that just got married?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're two purebred dogs. They're German shorthairs.
Yeah.
They have collars, and they had radio collars on them. And they were taken somewhere between Cherry Creek and the Madison River. Okay, and they're chipped. They got my son's name in their chips in there, and their names are Sadie and Maverick.
Okay.
So I want people to look out for that. And then there's one other thing I want to say that is awful nice. I met a girl at Walmart, my wife and I did, and her name is Tara, and her husband's name is Blake. And they have Amazing Acres Pet Resort at Belgrade. And I told them about the dogs, and I would sure like to have, they're going to look out for the dogs. And if anybody sees the dogs, my name is in the phone book, and people could call me and let me know, and I'll come and get them or whatever, if we can get them.
Yeah.
They're purebreds, and there's about $3,000 worth of dogs.
Yeah.
And they're my son's, they're his right arm, you might say, just like you'd have a dog,
Oh, sure. We got three of them, and I would be pretty broken up if any of them.
Oh, he is.
They'd happen to any of them, yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. They're family. They are family.
That's right. It's a boy and a girl, and they're brother and sister. And so anyway, there's another thing I want to talk about. That's I watched Trump's speech last night. Did you guys watch it?
You bet I did, baby. It was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, he didn't pull no punches about nothing.
He didn't. Oh, that's for sure.
I love this comment about, Biden being vice president for 8 years. All he learned to do was kiss Obama's you know what. That was great.
Oh, God, he told it just like it is.
Yeah.
He did.
Well,
That was great.
and everybody gives him hell, for pulling the troops out of, we had troops in Turkey, we had them in Iraq,
Syria.
we had Syria, and every place.
Yeah, we got them everywhere.
Okay, and so we brought them home. Now, I got to ask everybody out there that's listening this morning, why did Woodrow Wilson create the League of Nations, and it turned into, guess what?
The UN.
The United Nations now. Okay. Now, the first United Nations job was a police force, police action in Korea, which I was part of. Now, the reason that the United Nations was formed to start with, everybody out there listening, was for the countries to all come together at a place in New York City, which I'd love to shove it into the East River, that big building. And anyway, was to come together and prevent wars and bloodshed. That was their job.
And genocide. And genocide.
And genocide. And they don't do their job. They have UNESCO, which wasn't part. They created that out of the UN, which controls the parks and stuff and various places in the world. United Nations Biosphere Reserves, they call them. That isn't their job. Their job was, when Wilson put this in, was to have the countries of the world, when there was bad things happening in various different countries, for them, the other countries, to come together and try to create a peaceable solution rather than killing each other in armed conflict. That's what the UN was for. Why in the hell is the United States packing most of the load up until Trump's time and money-wise to the UN, which they're not doing their job? They're not doing it right. They're doing some of it on the famine and stuff like that they did in Syria and stuff like, I'll give them that. But they're not having peace. The peace in this world was supposed to be up to them. So we didn't have to have our men or anybody else to shed blood unless the United Nations actually said we had to. Okay? If they invaded our country, then we have a right to defend ourselves.
True.
Or, So what I'm saying is what Trump has said about bringing our guys home, I hope he brings them home from Afghanistan. My God, we've been there for 19 years. And with the people we train, like he said last night, people we train to turn the guns on them, kill our own boys. Now, what in the hell are we doing there? Let them fight and kill themselves. If the United Nations can't control it with a special army like we had in Korea, we had nations of 4 or 5 different nations, if you remember right, in Korea. We had the Australians, Ethiopians, the Turkish, Canadians. We had a lot of different nations in there trying to control it. And MacArthur at that time was the head of it. He was the chief operating officer of all of it. The thing that's happened to us, Tom and Shane, is nobody is paying attention to what various different organizations were put in for, especially the UN. I could go on, but I don't want to go on. I just want people to wake up. Do some history work. Look at the history of the UN, why it was formed, what it was formed for, and what its mission statement is. I got the United Nations Charter, and it says that each country that joined the UN was called a state, just like we have states in the United States. They were states. And each one of them states was responsible for their state and other states, the directors that was appointed to the UN. They were the ones to keep peace in the world. That's what the UN was for. It was to keep peace in the whole world. And 190-some nations. I don't know. Shane, do you know how many nations we have?
193.
How many?
193.
Well, that's what they were for. Some of them joined the UN, some of them didn't. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. And all you Democrats that are out there, heed what I just said. Do some history. Do your history, and then you will see why Mr. Trump wants to bring our folks home. He's tired of looking out of the back of that airplane and seeing them caskets.
No, but I agree 100%. But keep in mind, you have 642 military installations around the world.
Let's bring.
When you say let's bring our troops home, maybe you should be more explicit about what you're saying.
let us shut them down, Shane. Let us shut them down. Give it to them. We're spending trillions and trillions of dollars.
That's
over
right.
there. Let's just pull our out and let the United Nations. That's their job. Let them do it. Why are we doing it? Why is our boys shedding the blood? You know, some of our boys would go with you.
Their budget's $5.5 billion, and of course the United States pays like 80% of it.
That's right.
Nobody else will.
And Trump said he wasn't paying it anymore.
You know, there wouldn't be a General Assembly and all these guys sitting around eating in nice New York restaurants and staying in nice New York condos and hotels if it wasn't for the United States. With diplomatic immunity.
Yeah. There's 37,000 employees in the UN.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing with that many employees that the nations are paying?
We're still trying to find out. We're still trying to find out where $100 billion went in the last 4 years here in Canada. Okay, so
well, I'm going to get off, but this is one thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I think our Congress. Now, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. I think most of it is real good, but there's some corrupt people in that Congress, like Adam Schiff. There is so much corruption in there that I hope Trump gets reelected and we drain this damn swamp and get it back to the constitutional principles of what this nation was formed on. That's what I hope.
All right. Good call. Hey, thanks, man.
You betcha. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, one of the things in the UN Charter you should read, the UN Charter's online. You can go look it up. But one of the things you need to read in the UN Charter is the human rights section, where they tell you no slavery, where they tell you women are equal, where they tell you that all the things that I'm not going to tell you we don't have prejudice and racism here in the United States, but all of those things are pointed out in the UN Charter not to do.
Yeah, it reads like the Geneva Convention, like the status of refugees and the guidelines and rules of people caring for or providing to refugees, because once their claim of refugee status is resolved under the UN guidelines, they got to go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So any refugees in Europe or the U.S. or anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, once Syria's free, they got to get out of England.
They got to go home.
They got to go home to Syria or wherever they came from. So yeah. And that's and I think most of them would want to. I think if I was, out of the United States, I think I'd want to come back. If, maybe during the Civil War I left and, Civil War was settled. So now I'm coming back. So.
Well, you know how likely that is when you look at all these people from, like Hollywood, New York, that we're going to leave because Trump got elected.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. Yeah.
From our text line, 478-8298, been a supporter of the president since the beginning. However, his rants and raves are becoming tiresome. Be presidential. Well, as far as I'm concerned, he is probably the first actual president in my lifetime. I think he's saying exactly what people on bar stools across the nation are saying to each other. So I don't think I want to sit next to a guy on a bar stool who's presidential and has a focus group. Look at this focus group that says right here, I'm supposed to act this way. I don't think so.
I look forward to his rallies. Yes, most of the speeches are repetitive.
Yeah, they are repetitive.
I look at the people and I listen to the people and I see how big the crowds are. And it's astonishing. It's absolute. How great is this? This is
well,
this
and
is
it's
democracy.
and it's anywhere he goes. I mean, Minneapolis is certainly no bastion of conservatism by any stretch of the imagination.
That's correct.
I mean, those people are. I mean, they elected Omar, and of course, she's in a Somalia district. So.
Yeah, and the only thing that comes close to this is presidents that would travel rails, right, on trains.
Oh yeah, they go
and stop at every whistle
stop. Whistle stop.
Where there were 10 people and he talked to out the back, or 10,000 or 100,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me his ability to not only fill a stadium, but people outside. I mean, that want to get in that can't, and. I don't know. It's just it's mind-boggling to me. I've never seen anybody draw crowds like that. Even Obama didn't draw crowds like that.
That's right, and that's why the '48 election was so huge with Truman and Dewey.
Yeah.
Truman got out there and rode the rails, and all Dewey did was to run the corridor. Boston, Philadelphia, New York, and Washington. But it's. I'm telling you, it's great. I get goosebumps. Just the people are so happy, and and they're cheering, and they feel so hopeful, and that's what it's really about. To me, that's what it's really about.
I was gonna say that's being presidential and not pulling your punches. Not saying, well, a focus group said you shouldn't say that. Or focus group said you should cover this, or another focus group said do that, but. Yeah,
he started to go off script, and he said last night, I really have fun going off script. What do you think? Well, the place just went crazy.
All right, we got to take a break here. We got to hear from Culligan Water and Wesley Financial. You want to hear about Tom Shares? I know you want to hear about Tom Shares. So, and Bozeman Dental Associates, and we got that podcast, Shane, the one about last day. I don't know. I think if I'm totally depressed and drunk, maybe I might listen to Last Day, but I don't know. It's pretty lame. But anyway, here it is for your enjoyment. 24 minutes after the hour, it's Friday, October 11, 2019. Callers on the phone. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Question. Or no, I agree with this gentleman who was just on about the UN.
Yeah.
But let's take it a step further. He says there's a big problem with the UN. I think there's a bigger problem in the country. Okay, i.e., for example, at the University of Montana, how much money do you think they spend to ship football players from here to another state to play a game?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's not at state expense, I don't believe, but
no, but they're still spending money to do this.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Okay. Now, when you were growing up, Tom, in our day, because I imagine you're about the same age as I am, when you screwed up, what did your parents do?
Smacked you.
What happens today when you screw up?
They take you to counseling.
They take you to counseling. Yeah. And if you put your hands on your kid, I'm going to call the police.
That's right. The kid can call the police.
That's right. Next thing. In schools today, there is no industrial training.
Very little, yeah.
Very little. But yet we can go spend lots of money to go play football.
Yeah.
Well, and how many kids playing football get into pro?
Not many. Very small percentage.
So therefore, the problem really exists on the way we do things here.
Yes, it is.
So if we want the UN to act correct, we got to act correct.
Well, there's no question we don't prepare kids for the future. That's for sure.
Right. So if we don't prepare them, how can they do better than what we did?
Well, life teaches them, unfortunately.
Well, the teachers today aren't really not worth anything because they're all liberal.
That's true. Certainly a lot of them are.
They're not even being taught true history.
I'm not sure they're being taught any history.
That's right.
Yes, the other thing. There was a great general that I will not mention said, as long as there's two people on the face of this earth, there will be war. because there's conflict,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where you go. Well, you guys have a great day.
All right.
Today I turned 65. One more year to go, I'm done.
All right.
All right.
Go for it, man. I like it.
I'm going to. You guys have a great day.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right.
That's great.
That's good. Yeah. Well, let's see. Our text line's getting active here. Let's see. Why do we have to pay taxes, but Donald Trump doesn't? Well, as far as I know, Donald Trump pays plenty of taxes, but I guess we'll have to see his tax returns, won't we?
He brought this up last night about he gets paid $450,000, and when he first came to the presidency, he said, "Well, can't give it away to charity." What do you mean I can't? Well, there's a law, you can't do that.
Yeah, so you got to give it to an agency.
You give it to an you can give it. To
so he gives it back to the government.
He gives it back to the government.
Yeah.
So then he talks about the emoluments clause, and I said, so someone stays at my hotel for $413.97, and I'm supposed to be getting rich because this is crazy. I've lost billions become president, which I'm going to be happy to announce to everybody when I release my taxes. So he was having fun last night.
Yeah, he was having a pretty good time last night. So. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning. This is Charity.
Hey.
I wanted to join in on this conversation about being presidential or not presidential.
Mm-hmm.
In my estimation, I think it's better when a person wears their opinions out in the open rather than speaking with a forked tongue. And someone had said, I think, Tom, it was you that had said, you think this is the most presidential president we've had in a long time or ever. And I was just thinking back to Obama having gone over to Germany and having spoken against the United States while in a foreign country. And I was just thinking about how unpresidential that is, because he's supposed to be representing us. And
so true.
He's supposed to be standing up for us. And then I was thinking about our ambassador who was killed in Benghazi, and how Obama allowed Hillary was the Secretary of State at the time, correct?
Yeah.
Allowed her to speak out against a filmmaker who was expressing his free speech. Yeah. And Obama allowed him to be put in prison. Yeah.
I got to go, Charity. I'm sorry. I'm up against the bottom of the hour. So
that was my point.
All right. Thanks for the call. Excellent.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. We'll be right back. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Friday, October 11, 2019, 19 degrees outside. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, is on the line with me. And Tommy Gallup, your morning mayor, in the house. And well, from our text line, 478-8298, fighting so hard to keep his taxes secret is all I need to know, that he is hiding something. He clearly is not paying his fair share or breaking the law. How can any right-minded person see this any other way? If you don't want to show something, you have something to hide. Well, he showed it to the IRS.
That's right.
So if the IRS doesn't have a problem with it, what am I going to find?
That's right. Yeah.
Kennedy didn't show his returns either. And he was the richest guy in probably modern times. If you want to go back to the 60s,
that's right.
No tax returns from Kennedy before or after he was elected. So please, Lyndon Johnson either. I don't believe Lyndon Johnson's tax returns are out there. Nixon started it, I think, way back when. So
that's right. So
okay, he shows his taxes. What do you think you're going to find? Oh, look! Here's a payment to the Ukraine. I wonder why the IRS didn't ask him about that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, a couple things are up, Tom.
All right.
I wanted a question for Shane, I guess. I read a little leap of news. I don't know if it was Investment Watch or where it was, that Trump tossed the Chinese out of the Port of Long Beach. he ended the 40-year lease that they got with Obama.
That's right.
I heard
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I guess PG&E, they must have a crystal ball because California's burning again.
Oh my God! Have you seen the story this morning? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like two big fires. That mobile home park was. I mean, that thing was going.
Oh.
And PG&E is throwing their hands up. Not us. It wasn't us.
Yeah, we turned off the power. Yeah, exactly.
They said some guy dumped burning garbage in dry grass.
Oh, well.
You know, where'd that genius come from?
Well, he's in California. That should tell you all you need to know.
That's right.
And I'm gonna plug a something that I guess many of us use. I don't yet, but probably will sooner or later. Is when I called in after Mike was there the other day, and I was talking about China and West Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
And Shane interjected, and he was making the analogy with the Japanese when they were in this country buying everything up.
Yeah.
And you get a text that says, "Tell Pete it's the Chinese, not the Japanese," which is exactly what I was talking about. That it was
that's
Chinese.
true. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you were, and Shane was also interjecting the Japanese in Vancouver. He was making the Japanese in Vancouver.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I guess put your hearing aid in.
You're vindicated.
Yeah, put your hearing aid in.
Yeah.
Well,
that was fake news, Pete.
That was fake.
The reason the Japanese do this, and now they do it all over Asia, is that because they integrate the whole thing, own everything, the buses, the planes, the hotels, and the shops, and the golf. So people for, like less than $500 equivalent can go and play golf on a golf course somewhere because they can't do it in Japan.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess the other thing, I don't know what's going to happen with the UN, but they're broke. They're out of money, or they're going to soon to be out of money. And Trump came out and said, "Look," he said, "if you don't want to pay your dues, you don't get to vote."
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Well, I think it is too. We've been paying that. We've bbeen propping that place up forever, and I think we finally got somebody that would like to do something about stopping that and paying. Everybody wants everybody to pay their fair share. Well, come on,
right?
China and everybody pony up.
Well, you get in there and read some of their. For a while there was a lot of flack with the UN. Back 20 years ago in the 90s. And you read their charter and some of the other stuff they got going on, and you just shake your head and and look at their history.
Oh yeah.
I mean they've never done anything. I think the only good thing they've done is the WHO investigates every now and then when somebody poisons a bunch of kids with their vaccines. Yeah. But
they show up with their blue helmets to clean up after everybody's dead.
Yeah, and rape and pillage like they did, Haiti and Africa and some of these other places.
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
What's the point of having these people on? And they've never done anything good in this country. I mean, UNICEF, I think, is a Trojan horse inside America and every other place they're at, for that matter. But anyway, that's all I got, fellas.
Okay, that's enough.
Get out there and join the heat wave.
All right. Will do.
Have a good one.
See you later, Pete. All right, we'll be right back in 90 seconds. 16 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday, October 11, 2019, 19 degrees outside. And from our text line, 4788298, Furman and Paranis, I guess, are represented by John Dowd, Trump's former personal attorney. Those are the two guys that got picked up for the Giuliani money laundering deal. So,
all right.
Let's see. Why don't we talk this morning about Rudy Giuliani, Trump's lawyer, laundering money from foreign nationals to the Trump super PAC. It wasn't a Trump super PAC. It's a super PAC. Trump can't talk to the super PAC. That's against the law.
That's right.
Yes, they caught them trying to flee the country right after their dinner with Rudy the other night and had met with Trump several times. Well, if they had, that's the illegal situation right there. If two people with a pack are meeting with a candidate, that is a no-no. I guess the most honest man in the world is going to lose another lawyer. Seems to be habit forming. Well, Trump is the best president to ever walk this great land. That's from Dixie. So thanks for that. And let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jerry. How are you?
Good, Jerry. How you doing?
Fine, sir. Enjoying this lovely weather.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice the whole week.
Absolutely. I have a question. I don't know if anybody saw this, but I think I heard something on the news, and I would like you if you could verify it. Probably Shane would be the one to. Did you hear about this parent who is suing Tesla?
No. Oh yeah, he's got several lawsuits out. Yeah, it's Tesla's got issues like crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think I heard that that whoever was driving plowed into a wall at 116 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know those things could go that fast.
Well,
oh yeah. They're incredibly strong cars.
Yeah. Well,
really?
They got to have a full charge though.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Can't go that fast on a quarter, and you can't do it with the heater running either.
Well, I think I heard in the report that the battery caught fire and or whatever, and it's one of those. I think it's lithium, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lithium battery, and the downside of lithium is it has a low flame temperature, so and then it's explosive too.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. But I'm curious as to why. I think it was the father of the person who was driving is suing Tesla. But I mean, do you think that's a legitimate suit? I mean, the guy's doing 116 miles an hour. Is there any place on the country where you can do 116?
Well, the Autobahn, I guess, maybe in Germany you can, but it's the only place I know of.
Yeah, well, it's the parents of the 18-year-old that died were riding in his friend's Tesla, obviously his parents' car. But you're right, crashed into a wall 116 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour area.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he thought it was 125 miles an hour speed limit. Okay.
Well, he thought it was metric, kilometers. That was.
All right, and let's everybody out there, don't worry, be happy. Let's not get all. Yeah, let's not get all whacked out about these two fellas. They're just fleeing the country. They've been being looked at for a year.
Yeah.
And it was it was by some other agency too, another federal agency.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the election commission. It's a federal election commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, the FEC.
Yeah.
Another alphabet soup that we don't need.
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh no, we need them because Obama paid a $75 million penalty and paid it back in 2006 from his first campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Oh, I
yeah.
didn't.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, $75 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, he didn't pay it. He did. Oh. His donors paid it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which means that it was George Soros that paid it, because what the Election Finance Committee found out is that if you remember in 2008 election, he was getting these massive numbers of money from the internet, $50 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to disclose. If someone gives you $50 or less, you don't have to disclose it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, then they figured out it was all coming from none other than Soros.
That guy
$700 million.
That fellow Soros seems to get his fingers in a lot of pies here in America.
Certainly does,
including whistleblower aid.
Yeah.
And this guy needs to be looked at real closely. I wonder how much taxes this guy's paying.
Yeah.
Oh, he's wanted all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He literally he's been, oh yeah, he's been tried in extension. The Thais want to arrest him, and the Indonesians, the Philippines, Taiwan,
right.
Italy.
Didn't he try to take over the Bank of England?
No, he tried to take the pound down.
Yeah.
He whacked his first was lira in Italy. Then he went after the pound. Then he did the seven tigers in Asia, and then he went after the Thai baht. Oh yeah, this guy was a wrecker with his currency fund that he set up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then what's he doing here in this country? I don't get that.
Well,
we extradite him.
Yeah, well, they should if we have an agreement with them, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a question we ask every time we hear criminal activity. How come they're not in jail?
Well, I think they ought to turn the UN building into a jail. That would be better.
That would be good.
Opinion.
Yeah, they're already there.
Okay.
I think
thanks for the call, Joe. I appreciate it. All right.
Send the UN to Bucharest, Romania, where Ceausescu built like 2 million square feet of buildings, and they got great. I just think that they'd be upset where they have to go eat every night.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. We got a caller on the line, Shane. If you can entertain them for just a moment, we'll be back in 90 seconds. 7 minutes for the top of the hour. We've got a caller waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, Tom. I just got through talking with Shane. This Larry, a long time.
Hey, Larry, how are you?
Just fine. Listen, I want everybody to understand about taxes and Trump.
Yeah.
Trump comes under the AMT, the Alternative Minimum Tax. He literally has IRS agents parked in his accounting office. He can't even move one way or the other unless they say you can. People are just kind of, I guess, ignorant when it comes to the income tax laws of the United States, because give you an example. Okay, you and I, if we go take out a loan on a house, we can deduct all of our interest. Okay,
right.
Billionaires cannot. If they go and take a jumbo loan on a gigantic castle somewhere, the IRS tells them how much they can take out as far as interest. And normally it's only a small percentage compared to us.
And the same with charitable giving, too. They're restricted in that. Giving,
yeah. That's correct. When you see a lot of billionaires make a promise to a charity, they don't send billions of dollars right away. The IRS says, okay, you can give them $1 million a year for the next so many years, because they can't deduct all that stuff from their taxes. So I wish people would just get out there and read the tax laws and learn. And, I don't care what Trump's taxes are. I don't care what anybody's taxes are, for that matter.
Yeah.
But they should understand that Trump, he's paying his fair share. I can guarantee you that.
Well, that's what I've always said. If the IRS doesn't have a problem with what he's doing, as I've said many times, I don't think he gets a Motel 6 audit. He gets a Four Seasons audit.
You better believe it. Have a good day, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
All right, Larry. Thanks for the input there. Larry Stanzel from the Morning Soapbox show on Saturdays years back with Rick Klein, and always nice to hear from Larry, and he always has informative information. So we're glad to have that put out to a lot of the people that don't understand that a lot of these companies do have IRS agents on hand to do this. Shane, I've got to ask you a question.
Okay, only one.
Okay, are you in bed?
No.
You have a pillow behind you.
Yeah, that's to prop my neck up, because I'm got a frame behind me that's all wood.
Oh, okay.
It's like a wood couch, and it's
okay.
Not very comfortable. Yeah.
All right. Well, you look like you got your nightshirt on. You look like you're laying in bed. So I just wanted to make sure you weren't phoning it in.
No, I forgot my vest. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, where's the vest? It's required for this show.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, hopefully the county commissioners will be in here in a few minutes. Maybe we can chat with them about whatever they're up to. And we've pretty well got our text line all cleared up, I believe. Check our app chat line. Don't have anything over there. So we'll either be back with the commissioners at the top of the hour, or we'll be going after 5 things you need to know and more local stuff. So
cool.
Yeah. So as we're going along, the other things that are going on, I guess, around the country is that we've got a guy in Belgrade, Kostas Lazarides, I guess. Is going into the Songwriters Hall of Fame from Belgrade. So congrats to him. He's written stuff for Patty Loveless, Travis Tritt, George Strait, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Chuck Berry. Boy, he's been all over the place. So, but he'll be ceremony in the Nashville's Music Hall of Fame. And so congrats to him, and good work for a local guy. Making it into the national media and wherever.
Or
wherever, yeah. Let's see. From our text line, 478-8298. Tom, you know only too well that many on the left are not in jail because Democrats have the guts to vigorously defend their own. But even so, no one is above the law. Well, I'd agree with that, but we sure wonder why some of these people with the FISA reports and the FBI and the CIA and all these other guys, Clapper and Brennan and, some of these other folks, Comey, are, obviously working against the country. I would think that somewhere along the line there might be something happen to these guys, but apparently they are above the law. So I don't know.
We shall see.
Well, we shall. They're talking about the IG report coming out any day now, but it's been any day now since July. So,
that's right.
I'm still waiting for any day now for this report to show up so that we can get some closure on some of these things as to who did what and when and how they do it and who's guilty of what. And, is there punishment or did they not do anything wrong or what? But anyway, so we'll find out. So coming up, we'll either have county commissioners or 5 things you need to know and more local stuff right after the news at the top of the hour. So, hey, don't forget, BozemanMagazine.com. We're in the Reader's Choice poll over there under media. So get over and vote at BozemanMagazine.com. Let's show folks the power of talk radio. These music guys win every year. Let's pull a Trump on them. These guys can't win. Let's show them. Exactly. Well, let's show them we can win. So get over to BozemanMagazine.com and vote for Tom and Shane under media. And we're in several different categories there, both the station and our show. So please do that for us. We'd really appreciate it. We'll be back right after the news. All right, thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, the county commissioners just waylaid me here, and so I didn't have a clue what our music wasn't up. So it's their fault. So
there we go. It's
always our fault.
It's always your fault. All right. Don Seifert's in the house, and Commissioner Skinner is also with us. So, hey, we're happy to have you guys here.
Well, it's great to be here this
morning.
Thanks
for coming in.
Yeah,
appreciate it. So, yeah. One of the things some of the listeners have been talking about, we've been talking about the property taxes, that we got sticker shock evaluations or appraisals, I guess, not too long ago. So those are going to be coming due here. They already are, or they're pretty close, are they not?
Yeah, those. I think that those are going out somewhere the early part of November.
Yeah. I was going to say that's generally when they.
And I'm not sure the increase on your valuation is going to reflect that same degree of increasing your taxes.
Well, that's what people are hoping, because they were pretty shocked that all of a sudden their assessment doubled in some cases.
Right.
I mean, and they're thinking, oh, geez, are my taxes that I can barely pay now gonna double?
And it's when we talk about mills and dollars and values and everything else, it can be really confusing. But it's I think the easiest way to explain that is we budget in dollars, and then we adjust mills up and down to meet those dollars. And the mill is just a percentage of the value of your property. So, so we've actually this year, while we've levied more money, the number of mills has gone down. So it's not going to be a 1-to-1 ratio going up.
Yeah. Well, you brought me an updated where the taxes go, and I appreciate that. We've got 65% of taxes that people pay.
Taxes.
Yeah, property taxes go to the schools, and 17% goes to run the county. Pay everybody and
the sheriff and the clerk and recorder and all that.
All those people. 15% we subsidize other cities or other counties, I guess, or cities. Do we? Or does that go to the city of Bozeman?
That's the city. Well, that's all the incorporated cities.
Okay, the cities.
That's kind of the average of the cities.
Okay.
Bozeman has a city tax, Belgrade has a city tax, and that's just that percentage.
Okay, so that's what that is. And then 1% goes to the university, and then 2% goes to roads and maintaining the library, I guess. So, okay, so. But
that percentage has actually gone down for the county. Last year it was 18%. This year it's 17%.
So
percentage-wise, that county-wide has changed up.
So if you take your property tax on the average, if you average tax bill, let's say, I don't know what it is, 3,000, 2,000,
say 3,000, 2,000.
Yeah.
17% of that's about $400.
Yeah.
To run the county, that's sheriff, all your clerk and recorder work, county attorney, administration.
Right.
That's, I don't know. I don't think that's that bad of a value.
Yeah.
But people pay their taxes to Gallatin County, and they think, oh, that's $3,000 I'm paying is going to run the county, and I don't get near that value. Well, most of that's schools.
Yeah, we're the tax collectors, so we collect the tax, and then we divvy it back out to the other end.
Distribute it back out, Well, as Don, as you were pointing out, if you go in and buy your license, you just write a check to the treasurer. So or most any, I guess for property taxes you do too. And so
everybody sort of assumes that it stays there.
Yeah, the state has got a bunch of money in a closet somewhere, or the county does rather. We know the state has a bunch of money in the closet, but you guys may not. So,
no, we definitely do not have any money in the closet.
Yeah. Well, we hear the high school's ready to go, or will be by the time the 2020 starts. So, we've. Is that the city or the county, or is that both of you sharing that, or what's the?
Sharing the
high school, the cost of the high school.
Oh no, that's the school district.
All city.
That's all school district.
Okay, well that's right, it's school district.
The city has really nothing to do with that. The county has nothing to do with it.
Okay, all right. Excuse my ignorance on that one, but
it gets confusing.
Well, it does.
You've got lots of different government entities out there. You've got cities, counties, schools, fire districts. Water and sewer districts.
All of these are districts, and they're all separate taxing jurisdictions.
Yeah, so
we collected all for them, but we don't get most of that money.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, I know a lot of people are, we've got to pay for a public safety building. We got to pay for a high school. We got to pay for. They're going to put the park payment on the ballot, I guess, for November. $200 for that, $16 a month for another pizza that we have to add on, and and then look at how many pizzas your property tax is.
I don't think Don and I like paying property tax any more than anybody.
I was going to say, you're not immune from it. So
no, not at all.
When you sit down and do the budgets and think about it, you obviously your own pocketbook is in there somewhere.
That's right.
Well, we're pretty conservative guys, and we think long and hard before we raise taxes, and we did this year. In our budget, we did raise taxes, and it's just something we felt we we had to do to support some of these things that need to be done.
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, I'm on the salary committee, although I didn't make it this year because you held meetings in the morning, and I got to be here in the morning. So
this work thing's getting in your way, isn't it?
So yeah. So was that intentional? You didn't want me there to question you guys, or what?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
No.
But yeah, you haven't raised taxes for a couple of years because I've been to the meetings for the last probably 6-7 years, I think, ever since.
And the salary thing is sort of a complex issue because the elected officials or the deputy's salary, for example, is tied to elected
you.
officials' salary. Actually, it's tied to the sheriff's salary, and the sheriff's salary is tied to the other elected
tied to
officials.
you guys. How did that start anyway? Why are they not a separate entity from you guys? And
it started way back. I don't know when, but I'm not sure when. I shouldn't say, probably in the 70s maybe, but there's a lot of small counties that the commissioners were giving themselves raises and leaving the sheriff and the deputies,
out.
So, and so the deputies and the sheriff's association went to the legislature and got that change in. So when county commissioners raise their own salary, then they get a bump too, which made a lot of sense at the time. It's kind of coming back to bite them now a little bit in these bigger counties like ours, to where Don and I might say, well, we're just not going to raise our taxes or our salary.
And then the sheriff says, well, hey,
what about my guys? How are they going to get?
What are we over here, chop liver? And you've also got the thing about longevity too, that they've been there for a while, then they get a percent.
They get 1% every year.
Yeah, they get a 1% bump. Yeah,
right.
So
it gets pretty confusing. And those, we call them a tail, right? It's a tail from elected officials, down through the deputies, and we've got great deputies, and they deserve a raise. And so, in order to get them a raise, the only way we can do it is
particularly the amount of land they've got to cover.
Oh,
I was talking the other day. I think Rhode Island is smaller than Gallatin County. And they've got 5 counties.
Our deputies do a great job. I mean, they really do, and just their whole culture of how they deal with people. I've heard over and over just lately how it's
don't
just
have
different being stopped or being talked to with a
we don't hear many
deputy.
Police complaints either from the city or the county here too much. None that I can remember that have escalated to anything.
Sheriff Gutkin and Under Sheriff Springer over there, they've done a great job. They've got a lot to be proud of, the culture they've
How many deputies do we have in the county? Is it 60 or so? I think somebody said 60.
Like 55 sworn or something like that, but not all of them are on patrol, of course.
Yeah, they're administrative and there are other things that they need to do. So,
and then about that same number that work in the detention center too.
Right. So, so you got to have some people over there too. So
Brian Gutkin, Sheriff Gutkin runs. He runs a good shop over there, and he's got a lot of folks over there.
I was going to say, again, we haven't had any, workplace complaints or, unsafe work conditions or what do they call them, harassment work conditions or things like that, where people aren't appreciated for what they do. And I think our cops are probably.
We'd be the first ones to say they do a great job. At Budget, we always have a little rub because we're always trying to save money, and they're needing a lot of things, and so we've been able to come to a pretty good balance. One of the things I'm really proud of that we've done, that some people had a little question about, we have one of the lowest recidivism rates in the nation, probably. When people get out of jail, the return when they come back to the jail, come back to the court system, that's called the recidivism rate. And we've implemented some things with reentry. We have a reentry person. We have some mental health people that work over there. And our recidivism rate has gone down to unbelievably low rates. And I think that's something Gallatin County can really be proud of. We've implemented some things that are kind of not state of the art, but things that other people aren't doing that, that just is a cost saving.
Yeah, I remember our discussion the year before this past one that we were discussing salaries, that we were having problem finding good people that would come to the county and work for the dollars that were provided, and I think we made some adjustments there, and consolidated some offices or things and made some changes.
We've made some pay raises.
And
we needed. I mean, we have to compete. If we're going to have the best people, we're going to have to compete with the market.
That's
Actually,
for sure.
Joe and I were talking the other day, and both of us are really happy with where we are right now in the county with personnel. We've got some really quality people in some key positions.
We've got some real rock stars that work in the county that work really hard and are very smart, and makes our job a lot easier, that's for sure.
All right.
Really happy.
We got to take a break. When we come back, a couple questions from our listeners that you guys can ponder. What do you think about waiving property taxes in favor of a sales tax, and is that feasible or even practical for the dollars you guys have to collect? And another one is the lottery revenue was supposed to go to the schools. Do we still get lottery revenue? So we'll talk about that when we come back right after this. So stay tuned. Commissioner Don Seifert's in the house. Joe Skinner is in the house, and we'll be right back with more right after this. Welcome back, everyone. 20 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m. It's Friday, October 11, 2019. 19 degrees outside. Shane Matavin comfortably against his pillow in Vancouver, British Columbia. Taking it easy up there.
I've been to Vancouver a couple times. That's a beautiful city.
Is it?
It really is.
I don't know. Boy, don't flatter him. You know, he'll get.
Don't go there.
He'll get the big head here if we flatter him too much. Well, let's take some phone calls. See if we got some questions for Joe Skinner and Don Seifert. Caller, you on the air? What's going on?
Yeah, I just have a real quick question. I'll hang up after and let you guys answer it.
Sure.
Why is there always money for new dog parks and more parks around town, but never any money for affordable housing? And that is my question. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Are you asking that as a city or a county? Because those are pretty much
I was going to say
things.
a lot of things are city in that, but well, let's talk about affordable housing in the county. Can I put a trailer in the county?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't understand why there isn't somebody putting on a trailer park in the county, because I think that's the best affordable housing that we can have.
Do you have the restrictions? Well, in the city, you got to have 24-foot streets and curbs and gutters and lights and sidewalks. And do you guys require the same thing there? Because that's the major cost. Right. You know, if you look at the parks around, the one at 19th and Oak is in the county.
Yeah.
They've just got blacktop streets and
right.
Yeah, no, there's no real requirements for that. The planning department has got that.
There is a section of law where you review trailer parks.
A little different.
15 years I've been commissioner, I don't think we've ever reviewed a trailer park that I can remember.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'd like to see somebody do that.
Yeah.
And if talking about affordable housing, and this is just my view, not the view of the county commission.
Okay. Want to vote? We got a quorum here.
That's right.
I really don't think it's government's job to fix affordable housing.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you. I think the market, if you can live here, fine. If you can't,
I think it's our job to make it reasonable to develop, to make it not easy, but to make it not difficult to develop, to make the cost as reasonable as we can so people can develop and sell those properties,
Yeah. Well, the argument that always seems to come up is that we need a place for firemen and nurses and that aren't I think firemen and nurses are generally paid pretty well, but
workforce housing.
Those are the and teachers would be another one that we don't want those people to be priced out of the market because then you can't.
And I would point to two good examples up at Big Sky. Big Sky's got a real workforce housing problem up there.
Yeah.
And in the last year and a half, there've been 52 in that one project, workforce housing, affordable housing.
Well, there was one that was turned down, wasn't it, because it was too close to a waterway or something like that?
That one's coming back. We'll look at that again.
Yeah.
The other one that I'd point out is I went to school in a one-room country school, and there was a teacherage there. And in essence, that's what Ophir School has done. They've put 2 3-unit teacherages up there, and that's it'll be only for their teachers and be part of their wage kind of their compensation packages, so they can have some teachers that get some longevity there.
Well, the hospital had talked about acquiring the land east of them and putting a thing in there that would be affordable housing for nurses and whatever. Some of it would be single-family homes, and some of it would be rentable, apartments or whatever.
But for government to demand they do that, I don't think that's our job.
Well, all of the things that come up. Okay, you've got somebody that qualifies. Well, what if they make more money? They get a new job or something, and then what do? You kick them out and say, hey, you got to go somewhere else. And then, you got the property taxes on it. Somebody next door is paying on a $300,000 house, and you're paying on a $200,000 house. You're in the same neighborhood, but yours is locked in. Theirs may or may not escalate because of that lower cost house next to them.
Yeah.
So it may lower their property value.
I think the important thing is that it's probably government's job to create it, the opportunity for that to happen, not to make it happen, but to allow it to happen and not have regulations and restrictions in place so that it can't happen. So it's really our job to create the opportunity for that.
Well, that's what I think. The growing the county, making it attractive to business, providing jobs and things like that, and the competition will take care of generally. And your taxes for the schools and whatever. As people move.
There's going to be some difficult problems in this county in the years to come over affordable housing, but it's going to be it's going to hurt either way.
And there's not a silver bullet. There's not one thing that's...
Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And to mandate to a builder, you got to build X number of houses at a profit, but you got to lose on this one.
To mandate to a business they have to pay an affordable wage.
Yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay a certain wage or
I think competition is going to fix that eventually, but it's going to be some pain.
Well, you ask yourself, well, how do people live in New York City? How do they live in San Francisco? How do they live in, San Diego or Dallas or wherever?
Yeah.
There's not everybody can come to Bozeman, Montana, with their skills and whatever.
Right.
If you got a skill that is sellable, then, come on up.
Yeah. And it's, as Commissioner Skinner said, I think, I don't know about all of us, but I spent time living in a mobile home trailer house when I was going to school. There's a lot of people I know have done that, and that is part of what happens. You start and move up or stay.
Well, they've got the modular homes now too that are they look just like.
I still live in a modular home. I raise my kids in a trailer, so
Well,
you make it work, and.
Yeah, I used to live in Carlinville, Illinois, where Standard Oil was nearby, and all of the houses were Sears houses they bought out of the Sears catalog, and they all look alike.
Don't you think the expectation of our culture has a little bit to do with it, too?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I was raised in I had a great childhood. There's 4 of us, 4 kids, and my parents lived in like a 1,500 square foot house with 1 bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And we did fine, but nobody would think that could happen.
Me. We had 3 kids, and my grandpa lived with us for a time. There's 7 of us in there, and
you make it work. You didn't know any different then.
Yeah, we had the 1 bathroom we all had to share, and I had a room with my stupid brother, and my sister got her own bedroom, of course, but. That sucked.
Yeah, and I think Commissioner Skinner's right. I know a gentleman that builds houses down in Billings, and he can build a house for $250,000. Ask him how he did it, and he says, "Well, we put Formica countertops in them. We do all of that.
You don't have granite.
Yeah,
you got cheap carpet, and
so the expectation is now I'm not going to buy a house if it doesn't have granite countertops and fine cabinets and everything else.
And a bathroom for every bedroom.
Bathroom off every bedroom.
From our text line 478-8298, the hospital already owns the property east of them, and I thought that was the case. I thought they had planned years ago to do some kind of development there. But anyway, so. Well, thanks, guys. Don Seifert, Joe Skinner, thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate it. It's always good to let the folks know what you guys are up to and what's going on. So we really appreciate having you back, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for having us. Go Cats, right?
All right, absolutely. Sacramento State on Saturday. All right, that does it for this segment. We'll be right back. Shane and I will return, and right after this. Hang on. Hey, it's 24 minutes before the top of the hour. Shane Dobbin went away. I'm not sure where he went. The Skype went away, and he's not on the phone, so it's going to be me, I guess, for the next segment. So until he recovers and comes back, we've got a caller patiently waiting on the line. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, Tom. I hope Shane comes back.
Yeah, me too.
This is Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
I have a question about Winco Foods. I heard through secondary sources that they've kind of given up on Bozeman. And do you know what the latest is on Winco?
Boy, I haven't heard a thing about them. There hasn't been anything in the news that I'm aware of about them not being here or not going. I don't know what's up with the lawsuit with the city. I don't know if you could call the city attorney and find out, if there's a court date or if they're still in what's going on with them.
Right.
I have not heard anything about Winco, and that's a shame. That
it really is a shame.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of competition, and definitely that's a supermarket chain that would bring competition to folks that, like myself, retired and living on fixed income,
right?
And you want to look for competition, the best buy you can find for your buck, and that outfit was going to provide it. And it's a shame that for whatever reason they can't seem to find a home here.
Yeah.
One day I'd like to find out what the true story is behind this. I think there's somebody, and this is just my idea, there's someone pulling strings someplace that don't want people here that are going to be competitive with established businesses that are already here. So,
the two complainants, I guess, are Albertsons and I believe Safeway, which are, of course, large companies, and who would have the most vested interest here, I guess. I don't think Heebs would have a problem with them. I don't know about Rosauers, but nobody seemed to have a problem when Heebs increased their size, or when Rosauers went in, or Town and Country moving, somewhere else. So
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would tend to agree with you. It kind of smells a little bit.
It does. And next time, maybe when Jeff is in, next time you might pose a question about and if he's allowed to speak freely on it and tell us what the story is. I think there's other people besides myself out here that would like to see another competitor come to town.
Sure.
And in view of the fact that one was going to be really a low-priced competitor, and I think I think Bozeman needs that.
Well, so, and they're another employee-owned too, which is good.
Exactly.
So that's another good point for them, like Town and Country is. And
it may be the bad point for them because there's established, as I understand it, the union is not too happy. Retail Clerks Union not too happy that they're coming to town or trying to, and it's hard for me to believe that a union has the wherewithal to battle a company that's trying to come into an area simply because they're non-union. But again, we don't know any of the details here, so we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think Safeway or Albertsons or whoever, they may be afraid that they're going to lose some employees, and if they've got good workers there that know the system, to lose those employees, then they got training expense, they got mistakes being made, and all kinds of problems like that. So, there's, that's one thing that I don't like about unions, that, that they have that type of power to go against the very citizens that, pay their dues and do all that, so it's not fun.
Well, thanks, Tom.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Later.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right. I got to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. 16 minutes for the top of the hour. Shane may have had some difficulties with his feed, but he's not with us. let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Well, like I said, this is Judy on the Clint line.
Yeah. That's the way to double dip. Let the wife call.
Right.
Winco Foods you wanted to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I heard. I read on the computer that Winco is going to take over the Shopko building in Missoula. That they had to jump through too many hoops around here as to how their building was going to look, and I don't know what other hoops there are, but all they have to do over there is just take over another building. And so I read that it was easier for them to do that, seeing how Shopko just went out of business.
Yeah.
So maybe our restrictions here on how everything's supposed to look and be is just a little bit out of range. Nah. Maybe we need some ordinary type people in their boards that decide all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, there was a Bozeman Chronicle article March 10th of this year said Bozeman and Winco Foods backed how the grocer's application to build town unfolded after a group of union members sued the city for approving the design. So they already had the designs approved, but it was the United Food and Commercial Workers local union had a handful of workers file a lawsuit in Gallatin County District Court in January, and they claim that Winco doesn't belong where it's planned and would risk the plaintiff's jobs. They also said Bozeman violated the public right to offer feedback on the development. So I guess we'll find out somewhere down the line.
Once it gets into the law, why?
Yeah, and then it goes into a black hole.
Yeah, and it'll drag on until I don't blame these folks for going somewhere.
Yeah.
Moving into a building that's already built, a town that wants them.
Yeah.
And, well, there you go.
Yep. That's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in, isn't it, Judy? So.
Well, that's all I got to say.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Caller, you on the air? What's going on?
Would Shade run off with one of the saloon girls?
You must have. Yeah, I don't know where he's not calling. He's not Skyping. So I tried to call him back. But
well, that's it. See how he is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, but he's missed. Where is he?
Anyway, regarding this deal in Syria with us pulling out and the Kurds and the Turks and all that. This is a perfect setup for Israel to go in and establish a no-fly zone and for the Kurds to declare a state in Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and Syria. They'll take all part of that and establish a homeland.
Well, they may. That's certainly a possibility.
Coming. Yeah. Let Turks commit some atrocities, and Israel will come in there and save them and of course we'll do whatever Israel says. That's the way it works. Yeah. I mean, they dictate our foreign policy. So
yeah. Well, it'll depend that if Netanyahu is out of there, you never know how the new.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
You don't think so?
No, the new guy is just. He's a general too.
Yeah, well,
their foreign policy is set in stone. So the last time Netanyahu was out, they invaded Lebanon.
Yeah.
So that was in 2006, and they got their butt kicked. They'll establish this no-fly zone with drones.
Yeah.
Then they're not going to risk any Israeli pilots to those Russian anti-aircraft systems.
Yeah, probably not. No.
No.
Well,
so you have the Russians and the Turks and the Kurds and the Syrians and the Iranians and the good old cluster.
I was going to say you can't you don't know the players without a scorecard.
No, it's got all the additives.
Oh yeah.
All the players are there.
That's for sure. They are there.
And we're sitting off the coast with aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Tell Shane to come back. Tell Shane to get out of that.
Yeah.
Shane get out of the sleep?
I don't know. Maybe he fell asleep. I don't know.
Nah.
All right.
He's upstairs.
That's it. Yeah. I had to make a trip to the boys' room.
That's it.
All right. Hey, thanks, Vinny. All right. Let's see. 11 minutes before the top of the hour from our text line, 478-8298. What about the Hobby Lobby building? I hear the city is giving them a hard time, too. I think we talked to Jeff about that some time ago, and I'm not sure what, I don't remember exactly what he said. There was some kind of a holdup on their end. I don't think it's anything to do with the city, but they were, I think one of the problems they were having was finding employees. Now, that may be an issue because we have such a low unemployment here, and I have no idea what they pay, but I think that may be one of the issues that they had is getting quality people to leave someplace else and work for them. And with their news, dust-ups a few years ago about their religious beliefs or hiring or whatever, they may have a hard time finding college kids that are familiar with the Hobby Lobby name and don't want to be associated with it because they'll get beat up by their classmates. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one version that I've heard that has delayed their opening. So, all right, we got to get the Rush update in here, so we'll get that done, and here's Rush. 5 minutes before the top of the hour, good news, Shane's fine. He thought the commissioners were going to be on for an hour, so he didn't sleep very well last night, so he was kind of thought maybe since he didn't have a whole lot to add to the conversation with the county commissioners that he would just take off. Left me a message on Skype, but I guess I missed it. So he's fine and is resting comfortably. So we'll finish out the last 5 minutes here by myself. The problem with Hobby Lobby is the building being a toxic cleanup site. They're experiencing problems with the building and are having to deal with that now. That's the delay, sadly. That was the former cleaners was in that building before, and they that's always been a problem there. The cleaning solution from the dry cleaners leached into the ground, and it became a cleanup site. But I thought they had cleaned that up when OSCO went in there, but apparently they still have some issues going on there. And another texter, 478-8298, said that Hobby Lobby had a job fair recently, and only 3 people showed up for it. Nobody wants to work for them. So that was an issue that I had heard also, that sometimes due to their past court issues with their beliefs and whatever, it was that some people probably from the university where most of their employees would probably come from would be a little reluctant to work for them, being beat up by their classmates for not towing the Democratic line too closely. So that's pretty much takes care of that. And the other things that we talked about earlier, apparently multiple officials shared concerns over Trump and the Ukraine before the call, prior to Trump's July 25 phone call with the Ukrainian President Zelensky. At least 4 national security officials were so worried about the administration's Ukraine policy that they went to a White House lawyer to voice their concerns. Several U.S. officials told the Washington Post they were disturbed by the abrupt removal of U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. And in May, Rudy Giuliani sharing of bizarre conspiracy theories about Ukraine and suggesting that Trump wanted the Ukrainian government to give him material that could hurt former Vice President Joe Biden. Officials said their worries doubled after Trump's call with Zelensky, with one person who had been listening to the conversation immediately going to the National Security Council legal advisor John Eisenberg about the matter. So whether or not that's that's a deal or not, we'll we'll have to wait and see as to how that all plays out in the coming months. But the election, President Biden, oh man, I don't ever want to say that again. Candidate Biden has moved ahead of Elizabeth Warren again in several of the polls. So we think that maybe Joe's getting a little sympathy vote from being harassed by the president. So I think a lot of people are moving over there to show their support for him and his son, with all the allegations flying around about his the son taking money and doing whatever of that. So, but if you watched President Trump last night, he held his first rally since an impeachment inquiry was launched against him 2 weeks ago, and he spent time targeting lawmakers like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Ilhan Omar, and while also telling supporters he's locked in a battle with the swamp. They want to erase your vote like it never existed, he said to the crowd. And so that's where we are. So we've got a battle going on. So we'll be interesting to see how the October folks handle that with the debates coming up, and we'll find out about that in the days ahead. So that wraps it up for us for this week. Thanks to Shane. Thanks for being here, Shane. And also thanks to all the callers. Thanks for all the guests. Thanks for all of you supporting us. Hey, don't forget to go to BozemanMagazine.com, BozemanMagazine.com, and vote for us for best radio show and best station and best personalities and all of those. So BozemanMagazine.com. We need your vote. And let's show them the power of talk radio. That does it for me. We'll see everybody bright and early Monday morning, 6 a.m. Have a great weekend, and go Cats.